put these out in order.
Okay, guys, welcome to the show. This is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. And you guys know, first of all, you guys are probably wondering what the hell are you doing up, doing on the air this time of the afternoon? Because normally you're about a 7 p.m. Central guy. But you know what, man? I reached out to a team across the pond, and they agreed to come chat with me and see what's going on over there, But before we get things started, I'd like to do a quick shout out to everybody that's watching the show. All you guys are, 9, 10, 11, 12 different social media outlets. Are you guys that are in Manchester, and Tokyo, Japan, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. All you guys that are, Kick, Rumble, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and all my Facebook channels. Hey, man, I appreciate the support, and I really appreciate the love. But with that being said, I am going to, oh yeah, dude, I got one more thing. I almost forgot about this. Big news, guys, for all you paranormal teams in the UK that don't get that opportunity to talk to the people over here in the United States. So what I'm going to do is I am going to have a NSPS TV UK World Tour.
Lovely.
From the month of November all the way through December. So as much as I love the brothers over here in the in the United States, I'm gonna let you guys take a break for me for a while, and I'm just gonna focus on everybody in the UK. So, and I know there's a lot of teams over there that has a lot of amazing stories, and I know they just out there and they want to share that. So, hey, I am going to do it. I don't know if anybody else has done it, but I'm going to be the first. I like to be the first in anything I do. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, guys, please introduce yourselves.
So we're exploring the afterlife, based in Sheffield, UK. So we're Northerners. I'm Lindsay.
I'm John.
Obviously, we're a couple. I do all the more of the talking than what John does. He's quite quiet compared to me.
I would say I'm quiet. I just can't get a word in edgeways.
Oh, my God. Well, guys, as we were talking before the show actually starts, I want to pick your minds. I want to be able to know what you guys are thinking, how you guys feel, how you guys educate your community. I don't want to know the simple stuff, because the simple stuff is not fun. It's not educational for neither one of us. I'm expecting to learn something from you, and you learn something from me. So that is what this podcast is all about. So with that being said, guys, I'm not going to ask you what kind of devices that you got, because nobody cares about everybody has the same devices, basically.
We do.
Unless you come up with something very extraordinary that has not came out in the world yet. So I'm not going to ask you about that. You know, I'm not going to ask you about other podcasts because who cares? You know what I'm saying? But I do want to, you know, pick your minds on certain things and see how you guys feel about it.
That's fine.
You know what I'm saying? So let's get this party started.
Definitely.
All right. Are you guys able to see the comments?
Yeah.
We can see YouTube comments, I think.
Facebook and YouTube.
Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, we can, yeah.
Okay, you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna put them out there on the screen just in case you guys can. Oh, hey, Irene. Irene is from Japan. See, I like to go international when I do these things.
Hey, Irene.
Nice to see you again.
It's just one of those things, man. I like to spread the love, and and I like to spread everything, But with that being said, let's get into you guys. Hey, first question of the day, man. How you guys doing?
I'm
doing good. Melting at the minute. It's a bit warm over here in UK at the moment.
30 degrees for us, which I don't know.
Which
it's different for you when your guys don't work in Celsius.
So it's quite hot for us.
86 over here at minute.
You know what? That Celsius thing kind of throws me off because when you mention 30 degrees, I'm thinking cold.
Yeah.
No.
Because, I'm thinking, hell, 30 degrees, man, it's freezing over there.
No. So it's what?
86.
86
degrees.
Oh, that's perfect weather.
So it is, but you know, us Brits aren't used to this weather. Us Brits round about 20. Well, I'm going to say 2022, but go on.
We get about 2 weeks a year of sun. That's about it.
So, joking. But we're good. We're good. We're enjoying our summer.
Okay, that's summer.
Well, our summer could turn into rain after this.
I need to be over there. If 86 degrees is summer, I definitely need to be over there. Because here in Texas, 86 degrees is spring.
Wow.
120 is our summertime. Now we usually get that around July going into August and September. And yeah, man, it sticks to you.
Yeah.
I mean, it sticks like peanut butter to a piece of bread. If you put peanut butter on the bread and you flip it upside down, it's not going anywhere.
The problem we have over here is it's very humid, so it does it's just very.
It's sticky now.
Sticky.
Yeah. It's horrible. Yeah.
Well, there's always a good pool to jump in.
Not here.
Oh wow. Well, hey, we'll figure something out. All right, guys. Now, like I said, I'm gonna throw a couple of questions, and this is the first big question of the day for you guys: is how is the paranormal community in the UK? How are they treating you guys? Are they treating you guys with a lot of respect and a lot of love, or there's a lot of turmoil and disorganization? How are they treating you guys over there?
Do you want to go?
I think it's a mixture of both. You'll have it exactly where you are. You'll have certain teams or parts of the community that are really good, they're really close. We all work together. We go out and do collaborations on investigations. But then you get others who are probably in the minority that just want to cause drama. Slagging one team off, saying this, you've done this, they've said this has happened, they've gone to this and done, so mostly it's pretty good.
Okay. Wow. Well, I guess there's drama everywhere then.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't think that there is much paranormal community feel out there. There is with certain groups. If you can work well together and you're not if you don't do drama yourselves, then you can work well with a lot of people. But there's too many groups out there that do the drama, that do the fakery, that do that bring in the bad stuff for the the real people that are into the paranormal bringing. So, but we get everywhere you look, you've got that in every part of the world where paranormal's concerned, I think.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You hit that perfect. Tell me a little bit about your community, the town that you live in. How do they receive you guys as paranormal investigators? Do you get a thumbs up? Do you get a thumb sideways? Or do you get a thumbs down?
Well, we either get a thumbs up. You'll talk to somebody. I don't know. Say we're going to a cafe or something for a coffee. You'll be talking and they'll ask what you do. You say, I'm a paranormal investigator. Some people will be like, wow, I love that. I'm right interested in that. And they're asking questions. Other people, they just seem to think like you're just weird.
Or just laugh.
Just strange. Because like, what? Really?
Really? Now, does the church play a big part on who believes and don't believe in the paranormal in your community? Or is it just people with their own set of minds?
I think it's more people with their own set of minds. Yeah. For me, the church, I mean, I've never been very religious anyway. I'm pagan. But the church, for me, doesn't really play a big part anymore in the community, in any community, really. I mean, you get people that go to church every Sunday or whatever, weddings happen there, christenings happen. But the church isn't, I don't think, no longer a really big part of the community anymore in the UK.
Not like it used to be, no.
So why do you think the church is not a big part of the community anymore?
For me, obviously we're a multi-faith country now. So you've got Christians, you've got a lot of people that will say they're pagan now, like myself. Muslims. So there's all different religions, Jewish
communities. You've got all different communities that don't get on in UK. Same as all over the world. What I'm saying is it's same as all over the world. So the communities, some get on, some don't. And I just think a lot of people at the moment, we have things are going on in the world, are turning the back on the religion. In a sense, I don't know. I think they're finding other. I think spirituality is coming more back than church. If you know my meaning, I'd say so. I think more people are turning more to. I have my own beliefs. I'm a mixture, all different.
Yeah, she's just.
I believe in God, but I believe in a god and a goddess kind of thing. So I do pray, but my belief system isn't of a Christian faith, in a Catholic. Do you know what I mean? I've got bits of each religion into one, and I think that's what a lot of people over here are more or less like now.
Yeah. Well, the people that we
deal with,
or know,
in our like the surrounding that we deal with, are more like us. So yeah.
Let's talk about some of your past adventures that you've had, some of your past investigations, because I really want to know what exactly is going on over there. Because we know that UK is way much older than the United States.
It is, but the land isn't any older.
Yeah.
The land was still there before the United States was formed. So there was still
you're right.
Indigenous people living on that land. So the history from that time is still there.
So for us, when it comes to when we go to investigate, we like the history side to it as well. And everywhere you step, wherever you are, you're walking on some historical place. as I look at it, when you look back in time. So what we tend to do a lot of times with our investigation, we've got this like overlay map. So it shows us what was there in the 1800s to what's there now. And you can sort of like bring it up from
1830, I think the earliest maps on this particular website that I use are.
See, and it can overlap it, so you can see through years what's been there. So they could have been, say, like an old farmhouse that turned into a mental institution, that then turned into a carpet place, that then turned into a restaurant, that now is just open ground. So that's on that piece of land. It's got all that history that can seep through.
Oh, so we can actually agree, just because something is torn down doesn't mean that the history has gone away.
No.
You know, just because, you know, like you say, it might be a supermarket. It was something else at one point in time, but now it's a supermarket.
Yeah.
Now, we have this all the time here in Central Texas, where it was one thing and it was another. We have a Walmart and just south of Austin, and I guarantee you guys, it's probably one of the most haunted Walmarts, if not in the city. Well, in the city, probably in the state, because they built it on something that was there, but it's no longer there. But the craziest thing is, it was the cemetery on that property.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Walmart knew about it, but they know now with things coming falling off the walls, you know, at the Walmart. You know, numerous of occurrences happening. That a lot of unexplained things have happened in that store.
Yeah. But again, I think it's all connected to what was there previous, and also new things that's coming. Because as people, we have energy around us.
I mean, as well, you might have an intelligent energy or spirit, whatever you want to call them, in there, but you might also have residuals. So those residuals won't see the Walmart. The residual will be playing out what was there before.
Now, is it possible? Because I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, a lot of people have said that spirits can look into time. They're able to go back and forth, whether it's their time, our time, or some other time. Is it possible that they can actually see the Walmart and just want to play the crazy, you know, and just play the games that they play?
We don't know. We don't know. I mean, I'd love to think. I would love to think you could.
I think that is one of the greatest mysteries, man. Because you know what, people, and it's crazy, guys, because people, it seemed like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, people were afraid of dying.
Yeah.
But now it's more curiosity than anything. More people are wondering what is over there, and some of them are actually willing to take that risk to go have a near-death experience so they can have that.
Yeah. I also think as well, I mean, when you look over time from mediumships and going back into like paranormal investigating, when you go back to the like when it first started and things started coming out, death that back then, I think it was treated differently. Whereas though in today's society with the paranormal, I find comfort in paranormal, especially when you're watching proper teams. Like I am going to name drop here because Tony has come in chat, but you've got like Tony Ferguson, who we work alongside Tony, and also work alongside Echoed Voices Paranormal. But Tony doesn't use devices. Tony just uses his ears. And what I get out of comfort with when I watch Tony's lives is when he captures the voices, he actually hears them as he's catching them. And we don't, and my ears aren't that good. I want Tony's. But for me, that brings me comfort that when I do pass, there is something on the other side. So I don't fear dying anymore. And I think a lot of people that are watching the right kind of paranormal, going to the right mediums, because the charlatans in everything you do.
Not just in paranormal, in everything.
Yeah, in everything. I think those that are going to the right people are going to get I think they're going to get rid of that fear, if that makes sense.
Okay, guys, I know the UK have got paranormal shows I've never watched.
Yeah.
Because we don't get specific channels that you guys get. As much as technology is available, I should be able to watch just about anything that you guys have over there. But Nate, tell me about some of the paranormal TV shows that you guys think that are pretty good compared to the ones over here in the United States.
No.
Well, I hope nobody off TV is watching this. I don't like any. I particularly don't like any on mainstream TV for us. So whatever channel, Sky, Sky,
Most Haunted,
almost haunted stuff like. It's all fake. It's all fake.
It's all for. I'm not saying that they don't catch something, but because they're fake, they're made to fake. They're filmed to fake.
Something has to happen every episode. If not, we could go out on a 2-hour investigation and nothing happens. Not one thing. We don't catch anything. But for them, they can't have that because people aren't going to watch it, are they? People are not going to tune in and watch it. It's not going to make for good viewing.
So they have to throw things, and they have to have people going into trances, and they have to make it look entertaining. And I think it spoils it in a way, because I do believe that on some occasions they actually do catch true paranormal on that, because you can see real shock in the faces.
I'll actually tell you, my favourite paranormal team on TV is not from UK. They're from America, and I like them. They might be, you might hate them, they might be worse. Is the Tennessee Wraith Chasers.
Tennessee Wraith Chasers? Never seen them on TV, but I've had them on the podcast, and they're a great group of guys.
TV program, didn't they, over here?
I think there were about 5 guys. There were 5 of them.
Because they used to build in the TV show. They actually used to build or try and build something to catch a spirit or an energy.
And they were really good. But the English ones, well, the UK ones, I wouldn't rate any of them. Even the people on the shows.
Some of the people are all right.
They're not entertaining. You know, I don't know whether it's because British people can come across as boring. There are no personalities when they're on telly. Especially in paranormal field, it's like they're like robots. Whereas though when you're watching like an American paranormal, you've got excitement there. You've got and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I think what makes it like you said, it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
But is it educational?
No.
Are you learning something?
No, because what you're learning is to go out there and be aggressive, it's like we've always said, when we go out and do an investigation, we'll speak as I'll speak to John or as I speak to friends. If I go out there and I scream in John's face or start hurling abuse, I'm not saying he'd punch me, obviously he wouldn't. I wear the trousers. But no, I'm joking. But you'd expect something to come back at you.
Right.
Do you know? And what these TV shows is, especially when they're like trying to raise the vibrations, let's start shouting obscenities, or let's shout, calling out for demons to come forward. And the younger generation that are now coming into paranormal, and in some of the older generation, they're doing it, and it's rubbish. I'm sorry, but it's it's so disrespectful. It's for me, it's not paranormal. It's just who can be loudest. Yeah,
I totally agree with you. You know, and I've always tell people that comes on the show is respect. Respect starts at home.
yeah,
Respect starts with your grandmother, your grandfather, your mom, your dad, and just having respect for yourself as a human being.
But
But
I mean, obviously, I've always said if we go to a haunted location, we walk into this haunted location, and we walk in and we start screaming and shouting them out and threatening them. If somebody walked in your house and spoke like that to you,
I'll start threatening you.
you know, you wouldn't be right happy about it, would you?
well, no, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to pick up the nearest pot or pan and hit him in the head with it. And like, what the hell? And then that's when I'll come and ask the question. I'm like, have you learned anything? You know what? I'm not even going to ask him what he did. I'm just going to ask him, have you learned anything today?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't educate themselves.
No, they
You know,
don't.
a lot of people think it's just it's okay to do what they do, no matter who you do it to, how you do it to, or where you do it to. All these places that have history, death, and it demands respect.
Yeah, it does, especially paranormal field. It does require respect. I mean, when we go out onto some locations, yes, there's different energy types that you can feel. You can get communication going with what we call grumpy energies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, other teams have been there, and it's like it's a demon, it's demonic, it's this. We've gone maybe a couple of weeks later or whatever, and we've gone in, and yeah, you can feel that energy. It's not demonic, it's not a demon, it's a grumpy energy that's probably sick to death of people coming in. Or as we look at it, is in life you've got grumpy people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? So you've got all different personalities. So death,
who says that spirits can't be the same?
aren't they going to be the same? Could they be the same personalities when they go? If you've got a really grumpy old bugger who sits moaning all day about everything and is
She's not talking about me now.
and he's quite abusive or nasty, his energy is going to come through as abusive and nasty. And I'm not denying and saying there isn't anything really negative out there.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, I think you need to be
looking.
You've got to be looking for that,
and you've got to.
Just
don't come on to you. You know, you've got to do things to.
There's got to be something there already.
Yes.
If that makes sense to you, do you know? If I'm making sense.
Yes, yeah. Oh, trust me, you're making perfect sense. Let's get back to the younger generation for a minute, because I am so scared of the young generation because of what they see, and what they see is not always right. Like, you know, because you do have Hollywood, and you do have social media, you do have YouTube. So there is so much that these kids are looking into. You know, how do we turn something so negative into a positive? You know, because when these future paranormal investigators, they're not going to go by my way because they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
But they're going to know every famous person on YouTube. The Jeff the Baggins of the world, the Ghost Adventures, they're gonna know everything about those guys, and we all know those guys are not right in the head.
But I think with the paranormal field going like it is, with people like yourself, with certain teams out there that work the way they do. A lot of people now that watch a lot of paranormal, especially on YouTube and Facebook, have started calling out the ones that are found to be faking,
And I think
that are found to be, and I think it will eventually. There'll be more people doing it the right way than the wrong way. I think eventually.
If you actually look at it, and I ain't got any figures, so don't quote me on this. But when I look on YouTube and I look at pretty decent teams, you know, probably investigate like we do, like yourself does, very respectful, into the history, you know, honest. They get a lot of, well, we don't personally, but overall, these groups and people get a lot of views. So there probably is as many people watching honest investigation
is what they are
on YouTube as there is watching them on telly. But it's whether they want to be famous and rich or they want to do it right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's what are the, for me, first question you should ask yourself is, what are you going into paranormal field for?
Exactly.
When you're doing your lives and you're doing your investigations, especially when you're doing it live or you're doing a pre-record, let's say. First of all, you need to say to yourself, what am I doing it for? Because if you're doing it because you've seen some big YouTuber out there who's got 30,000 followers, let's say 3 million followers, and he's earning loads of money because they're actually scamming people who are sending up money because they're faking everything that they do. And that's the route you want. Don't go into paranormal because all you are is a scammer.
What you're interested?
You're just being an entity. Well, you're scamming people out of money for one because you're lying. Unless you state on your profile, this is entertainment only. Then you're being real. You're being honest. It's entertainment. You've stated it's entertainment, but a lot of people don't do that. So to me, you're scammers or you're taking money. You put people are very vulnerable when it comes to paranormal, when it comes to anything to do with reaching, connecting with loved ones or anything like that. So for them, if you're going to do it for your own interest and to bring paranormal, to show your findings out there, not for a financial gain, but for a more of a, just to get that evidence out there so people can see it. Get into paranormal if that's the way you want to go, because for me, that's what's wrong with paranormal world. It's not just with paranormal, it's what's wrong with society altogether, I think, at minute. Everybody thinks it's a quick, rich kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? And they're not bringing anything. Nobody's educating anybody. These big paranormal teams that are out there, they're not, like you said, there's no education going. They're not learning anybody anything or teaching anybody. They're just making a mockery.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I feel really strongly about that.
You know, guys, and I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this probably a million times. If you take money out of any situation, it makes it better.
Yeah.
It does.
The minute you put money into a situation, it all goes to hell.
Yeah. I mean, we've had paranormal teams over here where they've been really into the paranormal. They've backed everything up. In fact, they've been mediums to start with. And then they've backed all the equipment up and said how great it is and how wonderful it is. And then next minute, they've backtracked and said, equipment's rubbish. I'm no longer a medium. So basically, I'm skeptic now. So basically, they've just lied to so many people for so long.
Right.
They've raved about all this equipment that they've used, and now they've backtracked on all this equipment, saying, "Oh, it's a load of caution, it's a load of rubbish." Then next minute, you see they're putting posts on what's that money thing?
Oh.
No, GoFundMe.
GoFundMe, that's it.
You have these GoFundMe. Yes, that next minute you see them on GoFundMe saying, "I need a mobile van, or I need a wheelchair, or I need a mobility scooter to get me access, or I need an hairdryer, or I need £100 to hire this to do an investigation. And you're like, you've just poo-pooed it all. And now you're back and you're expecting everybody to fund your habit. What's supposed to be your passion, you're expecting everybody to fund it. And I feel sorry for the people that are getting drawn into these people. And more needs to be talked about that with where the paranormal's concerned, because we buy all this equipment. We pay for every location that we go to. It's out of our pocket, and all the other people we'll meet up with different teams to come on an investigation with us. It's out of their pocket. We don't go on to YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or whatever and start saying, "Oh, guys, we've seen this location, but it's going to cost us £800 for night. Can you donate?" Or we're going to do a private showing, but it's going to cost you £10 to watch us. Really? Do you know?
Wow.
And there is a lot of UK teams. Probably, I don't know about American teams, but I can speak for the UK. There is quite a few of them about here in the UK.
Well, as we were talking before the show starts, I'm going to find out, because once I start my UK tour in November through the end of December, I'll be able to figure out which team is which and how sincere that they are and what they're really about. So all you guys over there in the UK, I'm coming for you. I am coming for you guys. So hey, be ready, because I'm gonna call you out on your madness if you have any.
They do need it. They definitely need it. I mean, we have got a few people that do try and call them out and everything else, but again, it turns into drama for some of them. So the drama gets involved then, and then it's back and throwing. So yeah, there's a few good. There's a couple of good ones out there that do the podcasty type things and try and get their names out. So it'll be really good, I think, for you to come across and do your style.
But you know what? Me personally, I don't like drama, but I don't run from it either. I do not run from it, because like everybody on this planet has the right to speak their mind and say how they feel.
Yeah.
No matter what, if that person don't like positive criticism, then I'm not going to tell you what I'm thinking. But
the thing is,
if people who know my podcast, you guys know what my favorite phrase is. You can kiss my hairy butt. And I am so serious about that, because people like them are making a mockery of what we love to do.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the next question of the podcast, is, since there is so much mockery, there is so much no para-unity, and I can't help but think, guys, and I've asked everybody that come on the show this question: why is it that you guys don't think that parapsychology is not at the forefront at the scientific table? It really should. You know what? We should be sitting at the table with all the other people out there that are out there trying to discover and educate, the world. And I think what we do is just as important as what the archaeologist does, the cryptozoologist does. All these people that are ologists, they leave us out because what we believe in and what we think of is considered taboo.
Yeah.
There's people out there in the scientific community are saying you don't actually have real proof that ghosts and spirits exist. But I mean, do we got real proof that Bigfoot exists?
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Do we have real proof that the chupacabra exists? I'll be at to see one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is it real true that those black-eyed children that's hanging out in West Texas that are terrorizing the truck yards, do they exist? No, nobody knows. But they all are sitting at the scientific community, the table.
Yeah.
But they are getting respected for what they do, no matter how they do it, but we get criticized for what we do. It seems like here's the thing, guys, and I've learned this as I'm getting old. People criticize you. This is just my take. People criticize you because I think they expect more out of you. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys.
I know what you mean. For me, all this people saying you can't prove it, we can't at this time. But then again, there was only years ago, and there still is creatures in the ocean that have not been discovered. They exist. We just haven't discovered them yet. Nobody's seen one. Do you know? So eventually something don't know, with technology, might be able to prove it. But it don't mean that it's not there just because we can't prove it.
Exactly. You know, it's just like this old saying. If you're in the forest and if a tree falls, do you hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. We know the tree fell, but did you hear the tree fall?
Well, did it make a sound because nobody were there?
Yeah. You know, and it's amazing how how this world has come technology-wise, but it seems like they are still in the simplest basis of figuring things out, whether things are true or not. I mean, I thought some point we were way past that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Let's say they're just not.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I don't know what Alexa's just suddenly woke up. For me, there's nobody that's invested enough money. You know, developers or whatever, engineers. There's no money going into the paranormal to investigate it. Whereas other things, there's billions.
Well, like Claire's put, they've explored more of space than they have at oceans.
Yeah.
So they're putting money into certain things, but they're not going to put money into. Do they not want? But is there a reason why the government or whoever it is won't put money into it? Is it because? So say we find proof that there is an afterlife, and that afterlife is as amazing as what some of us think, or that we are going to meet up with his loved ones. Is that going to cause more people to
want to commit suicide,
to take their own lives? If this proof finally comes out,
well, you know, that would be hard to say because certain people have, you know, different, you know,
I know different mentalities and everything. I know that, but I'm not saying on a suicidal level. But I'm just saying, if you got to a certain age and you were like, right, I've had a good life, I've had a good innings. My grandkids are this, that. Right now, I know if I die tomorrow, I'm going to see my mum and dad on the other side, and my brother and whoever.
All my family's going to be there. Wonderful and blah blah blah.
Would more people choose?
Wouldn't we want to go there rather than be here?
Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying to do suicide. I'm not what I'm saying.
You know, that's a great question. I've never been asked that before, and to be honestly with you, I don't know.
Is that why they're trying to keep a lid on the paranormal?
You know, you might have an idea on that. You might actually have an idea on that one. But yeah, that is a question.
Tell me I've not lose words.
That is a question. I wish I could answer that one, but I can't. But I can answer. There was a question. We explored more space than we do have of the oceans, guys. Do you know why that NASA have stopped exploring the oceans, do you guys really want to know what's down there? Or would it literally scare the hell out of you?
No.
And you don't want to know?
No, I want to know, yeah.
You know, NASA has discovered in the waters, I think, oh man, it might have been in the Pacific Ocean, where they found out life, this planet is a lot older than what it is.
Yeah.
We also have to understand is before the ice age and before the melting of the ice the first time, our water levels were totally different.
Yeah.
So is it possible what they discovered down there? Because I know that they were sending submarines down there at one point in time. What they found out and what they saw can change life for every human on this planet forever. It would throw a wrinkle. It would throw. This predates certain religions. I know it predates Christianity because Christianity was not even around when this new civilization was going on. Before all this, and like I always tell people, this planet recycles itself.
It does.
So many millions of years. You know, so what they discovered down there, they's like, well, we cannot tell anybody about this because it will literally change the face of the planet.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Could that be similar to paranormal, though?
No, it's not paranormal.
No. Could it be same with the paranormal?
Yeah, definitely.
It could change a lot of things if we actually proved it. It could change a lot.
Yes, I totally agree with you. It would change. Not only that, can you imagine the religious aspect of a significant find like that?
Yeah.
Can you guys just think about it for a moment and how
massive,
religions will crumble? People, here's the thing about humans, and I've always tell people this. We're not all there.
No, we're not.
some more than others.
I'm not.
We're not all there. What these people, just think about the people back in those days, and if they were able to do what they did back then, and we're not able to duplicate what they did back then, that's telling me something.
Well, when you look at some technology that's used today, where have they got the ideas from this technology? It's come from somewhere. Whether it's come from in sky, whether it's come from below ocean, so in some forms we're more technically advanced than what we should be in certain aspects. So that technology ideas come from somewhere. So is it coming from below? Is it coming from above? It's all
But the biggest question is, guys, and I'm going to throw this at you. Would you rather be a paranormal investigator now or be a paranormal investigator in the 1820s or anywhere before now? I don't know why 1820s came up, but I guess I'll go with it. When there was no technology, there was nothing that you were born with. Which one would you guys go with?
I'd go now. And only reason I'd go for now is because if I went and did it back then, they'd probably lock me up and put me in a nut house.
They can do that now.
Well, they could do that now, yeah. No, but I don't know. Do you know, it's an odd question because I'd love to go back and do it then because then I could get history from before.
I'd rather.
But then that's contradicting myself because I'm here now and I can still go back and get the history from that period and try and get history from the period before that. So
interesting.
Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, I'll set for now.
Okay. Now the reason why I asked that question, guys, is like we were talking about earlier. Is we got all these new devices that are out here in the world. Whether it's $1 billion a year business building the paranormal devices, whether they work or not, people's going to buy them. Yeah. But people are forgetting to use what they God-given gifts that they were born with.
Yeah.
I know would agree there.
Yeah, Tony would agree.
Tony would 100% agree. Tony's in chat, but Tony would 100% agree. In fact, some people in chat would as well. But Tony would 100% agree. I mean, we've been working with Tony for, I'm going to say a couple of months. Is it a couple of months?
6 months.
About 6 months we've been working along with Tony. And we've learned so much working with Tony. We've always used apps and devices and different equipment. Mm-hmm. We've always listened out for the voices coming back and everything else. And then we went down to Portsmouth to meet up with Tony and Bev. And this is Tony Ferguson in chat. And we went and investigated with Tony. And we put a few bits of equipment out, but only like an air pressure thing.
Seismic,
few gadgets.
Little cat ball, that type of thing.
But everything else was silent. And Tony uses his own sensors.
And, and people, whether we have them or not, everybody got gifts. Everybody got eyes, ears.
And that's exactly what Tony says.
And that's exactly what you need.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. For an example, I was out investigating, and I was in a cemetery, and I was just starting out, and I didn't have the devices that most people have today, and I still don't have them.
No.
But I was able to hear certain things that I know I heard, and I'm on one side of the cemetery, and clearly on the other side of the cemetery, you can hear somebody say, "Hey."
Yeah.
And but if I had that on a voice recorder and I played that to somebody, and if it's a good skeptic, the first thing they're going to say is, "Oh, that's somebody across the street. That's somebody this, that's somebody that." And, but I'm thinking, man, I caught that with my ears. And that's something that can be with me for the rest of my life. Yeah. Can't nobody take it and flip it and screw it all up and then come back on YouTube or Facebook and just scrutinize you with it. Yeah, all that scrutinization is full of crap.
Yeah. But also, don't you think, though, Terry, when you're putting evidence out there and people are looking at it, before they comment, and everybody's got their own opinion, good, bad, whatever it is, it's their opinion.
Yeah, I'm not going to say
that. But if you've not been to that place to investigate yourselves, don't come on and start saying that's not this is it, that's that, because unless you've been to that place and that where you're stood, that you're surrounded by a brick wall or what your surroundings are, do you know what I mean? You've got to, it's so easy to sit back and watch something and form an opinion, but then when you go, you're like, actually, how did that happen? Because there's no car lights. They're actually down in this big dip. Do you know what I mean? And it's like you've got to be really open-minded and listen.
I've seen a lot of people have asked me to have a look at some evidence for them, and I will take a look. And I'll say, well, in my opinion, I can't tell you. I've not been to this place. I don't know what, I can see what's on the screen and I can hear what's coming, but I don't know what's around. Mm-hmm. I've never been there.
So it's really
I don't know
difficult.
What contamination or what different thing. Or I could say that could be a car headlight, but like Lindsay said, they could be in a dip and nearest road's 5 miles away. Right, ain't a car headlight. But you know what I mean? I've not been there, so I don't know.
Yeah. Guys, I'm a man. I got bald head. I don't have no hair. I mean, I am literally don't have any hair. But guys, but when you use your senses and you're in a location that you know it's haunted, and you know there's been death, and so on and so on, and the little hair that you got stands up on your head, and I don't have much. That right there tells you a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've been to some of the most haunted locations in Texas, and I can honestly say that some of these devices I really don't take into consideration, but the way that I feel, what I smell, what I see, and what I hear, my body is telling me all this, so I'm gonna have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you've got to, because like you said, that's your experience. It's a personal experience. And like you said, especially when your arms go up, because you can literally see when you put what you can see and raise it. I mean, you can feel it. But yeah, I just think it's just such an amazing interest to have, personally.
I really think it is, and I really think that people should use their God-given talent than using all this equipment. And I'm not saying that I don't have equipment, because I do.
Yeah, well, you do. I mean, we try to do a bit of both. We'll use some equipment. We don't go silly.
No, we don't. We try to make it interesting for everybody. So we'll use a bit of equipment.
That's because we go live.
Yeah, we'll use a bit of equipment, some sensors, different things, whatever. I'm not going through equipment. We might use a spirit boxy type thing or whatever, because people like listening, But then we'll have quiet where we're just shouting out and listening for responses, either what we can hear or what's coming through the camera.
Yeah, man, guys, I gotta apologize for this, because I should have asked you guys this question earlier.
That's okay.
Into the podcast, but I'm gonna ask you guys now, because I want to know what your parents might think if they found out what you guys do.
My mum knows. I mean, that actually brings me back to what got me started into paranormal. I lost my dad when I was 8, but about a week before he passed, I had a dream that he was going to pass, but it was more of a nightmare, and I think I was getting prepared, and then I lost my dad a week later. So after that, that's what pulled me in from 8-year-old. It pulled me away from, we only used to go to Sunday school, but it pulled me away from the church. My mom fears the paranormal. She fears it completely. So if I talk to my mom about it, she just laughs at me and goes, "Oh, Lindsay, what you doing?" Do you know what I mean? And I'll tell her we're going live, and she'll sometimes watch in background, my mom. And if I see a name come up in chat, I'll go, "Hey up, Marcia." Do you know what I mean? Because I know my mum's in chat. And she'll not speak. She'll watch for a little bit, and then she'll turn it off. But I think for my mom, she's quite fearful of anything paranormal. But she's had her own experiences. So yeah, daughters, they just laugh at us. They just think we're crazy. But they've had experiences themselves. So yeah, it's just a bit. Yeah. Well, apart from that, we've got a good family. They're supportive. They're interested, but it's like they want to believe but can't believe.
Interesting.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Guys, parents, they only want the best for us. And to this day, I have not told my mom on exactly what I do.
Really?
No. My wife, before she passed, she seen me go into it.
Yeah.
You know, she went on one investigation with me, but not too many after that. You know, my kids, one of my sons loved the YouTube channels. He loved Omar Gosh and some of these famous YouTubers that are out there trying to do the right thing. But every time I asked him, I'm like, hey, you want to go on an investigation? No, Dad. You know, my other two boys, I don't think my oldest we've talked about it, but every time we talk about it, he brushes it off.
Yeah.
Because I know that he is still into his motions of his mom passing.
Yeah.
And I totally respect that.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that we really don't talk about much.
Yeah.
You know, even when I tell him things that his mom has said to me to give to him, he'll kind of brush it off his shoulder like, Dad, stop playing with me. And I'm like, dude, you have to, you know, and I always try to educate, and I always try to tell him, never, ever put in your mind that the possibility is out there. The possibility is endless. So never doubt the possibility, because nobody really knows.
No. I mean, what I used to... Oh, sorry.
As long as people keep an open mind, you don't have to believe, you don't have to have the same belief. Just keep an open mind that maybe this could be possible, you know?
Yes. Going back to your son, or to your sons, what I used to say to myself is, once I got together with the grips of emotion of losing my dad, because it took me till later in life to deal with all that emotion. But somebody once said to me, you see your dad every day. And I used to say, I don't. And she says, you do every time you look in the mirror. And that brought comfort eventually, on the fact of knowing that every time, or when I look at my kids, when I look at grandkids now, I'm seeing seeing things of my dad coming through in them, in the quirks and stuff like that. So he's there. Do you know, he ain't left, he's there. So that's how I look.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man, because I think all my kids look just like my wife.
Yeah.
I mean, they have my attitude and some of my features, but they have her eyes, her skin color. My son has my hair, which is none. You know, and I always tell them all the time, I'm like, hey, guys, you know, your mom says this, your mom says that, you know, and all they do is
when they have their families, they're going to see her again.
Yeah, I mean, I tell them all the time.
And it's just like a big sight. And I think that's where you get help with grief, when you're going through that, because
oh my God, dude. You know what? And can I be honest with you guys for a minute?
Yeah.
Whoever created grief need to be popped in the head, because that's the worst thing nobody on this planet should ever have to go through.
No, it's not. No.
Grief. Oh my God, dude. When my wife passed away, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. I just came home, and I know the house, it's not a home anymore.
Yeah.
It's just a house now, because I don't have that family feel, because I've lost someone who was the foundation of our entire family.
Yeah.
You know, so when I lost that, but then I realized, Terry, you got to get yourself together, because your life will continue.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I still deal with grief, and I still deal with grief. And
I don't think I don't think you ever get over grief. I don't think there's no ever getting over grief. I think we just learn to live each day the best we can.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only way you can go.
And I think you're right. I think that's the only way. You know, I want to shoot the person that created it.
Yeah.
I don't know who did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I am, you know, I for certain people in my life, I am in I'm not going to say a good space, but I'm going to say decent.
Yes. Well, you can always drop me a message now, and I'll try and put a smile on your face.
Don't be surprised, hell, if I be knocking on your door here in a little bit.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Because as much I would love, you know, I got to make my rounds. I mean, I got to go to Japan. I told a good friend of mine that I would come in February, so I'm gonna make an effort to get there first. Now, I don't know how far Japan is to the UK. I think, man, it'd be one hell of a long flight.
Terry is transitioning into a new space. That's what Irene's just put.
Yeah, I'm transitioning. Yeah, I know Japan from Tokyo to
16 and a quarter hours.
Oh, that's not too bad because it's going to take me 12 to get to Japan.
Yeah.
So just a couple more hours more. I think I can sleep for that long.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, but yeah. Hey, Tony, how you doing? Ghost Whisperer. Thanks for joining the show, guys. Hey, I appreciate everybody in the comment. And you know what? I think I need to do podcasts in the afternoon more.
Definitely.
Because normally I usually do them at night.
Yeah.
You know, but I think I'm going to start doing them in the evenings, you know, around the time that we've got together and see what happens, man, because the board, the comments is just popping in.
Just popping.
Just let it go, man.
Just let it go.
Let it go. Okay, guys. Another question I have for you guys. I should have asked you guys this earlier. How big is your community? And are there any paranormal investigators in your town?
Do you know, I think
there's a lot of paranormal investigators in our town. A lot that, I mean, we don't know the majority of them. We've heard of them. I mean, there's probably even more than what we know of because not every paranormal investigator is on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people just do it for themselves. They don't put it out there. I can't even begin to think how many teams roughly.
I mean, there's loads of teams. There's certain teams that, like I said, that will work alongside. And I'm not saying that we're fussy about teams that we work with, but we are because you've got to be. Because I can't work with our energies have got to click with the teams that we work with, because there's no point in us going and working with a team that works completely different to how we work.
Right.
Because our energies aren't going to gel. So if our energies don't gel, then that's going to impact the investigation itself.
Okay.
So like I said, I mentioned teams earlier that we sort of like keep there's like a circle of
there's
us.
a few others as well.
There's a few others out there that we work alongside and that, but I think that within community there's quite a few teams now. New ones popping up every now and again. You'll see a new one coming out.
There is quite a lot of teams around our area that all come from one team. Again, not going to mention anyone. But what happens is they join this certain team.
Yeah.
They all have a big fallout. And then so many of them go off this way and create their own team. And then somebody else joins that original team. And then they have a big fallout. And they go that and create. So, do you know what I mean? It's
drama. So we
definitely got to stay away from that.
Yeah.
That's like a cancer. You just can't get rid of. You fight it with. You just fight it and fight it and fight it, but it's not going to go anywhere.
No, I mean,
You
I
know
think
what I'm saying?
we've been on Facebook and YouTube now about
It's about 2017.
About 2017, and in all that time, we've never had drama.
Well, that's good.
Once, and that somebody.
And we didn't get involved in
We
it.
didn't get involved. Somebody just went online and was saying something about me. So,
well,
I just did a video just to cover my back, and I just did it, left it, come away from it. But in our chat, when your chat's going and that, we've got such a good support group, a good set of, I call us as third paranormalers that watch us, extra investigators we call them, and they welcome everybody in. If anybody comes in and they're abusive, nobody gives them time of day. We just remove them straight away before they can start.
We like people to get involved in our investigation, especially if we're live. So we like people to put, even if they're sensing something or just feeling, put it in chat. You know, if you hear something,
because you don't know whether it's going to make sense.
If you've got a question you want to ask, put it in.
You know, so
we like everybody to try and get involved.
There you go, guys. 3 more comments, and I'm gonna get you guys 3 more questions. I'm gonna get you guys out of here because I know you got better things to do than hang out with me. You know what I'm saying? So 3 more questions, and I'm gonna get you out of here. And trust me, these are gonna be some doozy ones.
Go on.
These are gonna be some doozy ones. Liz, if I was to knock on your door right now, and I ask everybody this question because I think it's pretty important.
Yeah.
If I was to knock on your door right now, and you come to the door and you're like, oh my God, Terry, hey, how you doing? But I had this serious look on my face, like something's wrong. And I said, Liz, can I talk to you for a moment? And you say, yeah. So, and I would say, hey, let's go for a walk. So I would take you by your hand and we would just walk. And I would say, Liz, you have the opportunity to learn everything that you could possibly, you want to know everything possibly about the paranormal. I am going to share that knowledge with you. I'm going to, before it's even written in the books, you're going to know. Because we know that the paranormal is forever changing. It's forever changing. Would you accept that gift, or would you say, no, Terry, I want to continue learning on my own?
I think I'd say thank you very much. I'd like to continue on the path I'm going. But if I need advice or I need some guidance, can I call on you? That's what I'd ask for.
Wow. Man, I'm 0 for 5 on that question.
Go on, I'll go then. I'd accept it.
0 for 5. What would you do, sir? Would you take it?
I'd take the gift, yeah.
Oh,
would you take it?
Yeah, I'd take the gift. To know everything, yeah.
Okay.
But my mind might blow.
No, we'll set it up. We'll set it up where his mind won't blow up.
There's not much damage can be done up there anyway.
But that is a great question, man, because it tells you at what place that you're in as a paranormal investigator. Whether you're out there and you want to see and do more for the community, or do you just want to take it all in and just call it quits because you know everything?
I still won't call it quits. I still won't, even if I know everything, I still won't call it quits. I'd still go out there and I'd still investigate. I just want to know.
You'd want the knowledge.
I want the knowledge. I mean, there's a lot of things I'm interested. I'm not a well-educated guy. Don't get me wrong. I know a little about a lot of things. What we call a jack of all trades. I don't know if you have that saying over in America. So I can put my hand to most things. What I do just to know everything to do anything but paranormal. Like I say, it wouldn't stop me investigating. I'd still investigate. I'd still go out, but I'd know exactly what to do, wouldn't I?
But you have to pick. You can't able to do both.
Oh, I can't do both.
Either you take the knowledge, or you say, "Hey, no thanks, Terry. I'm gonna figure this out on my own. Thank you for the offer, but I'm gonna gladly reject."
That's got me torn.
Yeah. So if Terry just knocked on the door
And said,
and just said straight away, you can't pause and think like I did, what would your answer be now? No thinking, just say it.
No.
No. Say no, thank you, Terry.
That's a no, thank you. If I couldn't carry on along my journey, even with the knowledge I got, if I couldn't carry on doing it, for me, there'd be no point in knowing all that, because it's not just about the destination; it's about the journey.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the thing as well, it's that spirit. I mean, it's the spiritual journey you're on as well.
So I can take that one off of it, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm like 0 for 7 now.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. All right. Okay. You're going to have to sit this one out for a minute, Liz. This is just for your husband. What do you do for a living, sir?
I've done. Originally, I was a mechanic. Like I say, I'm a jack of all trades. I've been an auto mechanic, car mechanic. I've worked on motorbikes. I've worked on jet skis. I've driven trucks. I've driven buses. I've worked in warehouses. I've worked for Royal Mail, Postal Service over here. And now I've done numerous things. I work. A lot of stuff that I do now I'm basically self-employed.
But he's my carer.
But yeah, I also...
He's my carer.
I'm Lindsay's carer.
I don't know whether he wanted to say that on live, so I don't know whether we're saying it for my benefit, because he didn't know whether I wanted it put out there. But John, I'm actually I use walking sticks, wheelchair, and a mobility scooter to get me in and out. I suffer with my spine and my legs.
Oh, yeah. So, and I worked on dome. I worked on security as a doorman.
John has to do everything. John's the housewife, the cook, the cleaner, everything.
No, John, you're not the housewife.
Yeah, I'm the princess.
I'm staff.
It's staff.
Oh boy. Okay.
So, yes.
All right, so 2 more questions. I'm gonna get you. And John, this one here is for you.
Okay, mate.
So I am trying to look at what your day is 30 years ago. Now, you just said you're a mechanic, so you have a truck, I would assume.
30 years ago, I would have been a mechanic, but no, I mostly rode motorbikes then.
Okay. Now, we're going to put you in a nice looking BMW. Okay, so you're driving home and you just got off the phone with Liz, and Liz was like, "Hey, what's for dinner?" And you're like, "Man, I'm feeling spaghetti." So Liz says, "Okay, spaghetti it is." Liz, do you cook spaghetti?
No.
But to be fair, 30 years ago, I wouldn't have known her.
No. Yeah, I would. Yes, I would. If he asked for spaghetti, I would cook spaghetti.
Okay, well, in this particular question, which is going to be a doozy because it's going to shake your head up here for a minute. You're cooking. Yeah, John's feeling spaghetti. So you're like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and cook this man who worked all day some spaghetti. So you get to a red light. Have you ever been to a red light where the red light takes too damn long and your mind just wanders?
Yeah.
So you're sitting in your car, you're listening to XM radio, and you look to the left, and this ball of red light is coming at you. You're looking around like, what the hell is going on? And it comes, John, and it hits you right in the chest. Didn't knock you unconscious, didn't do anything to you, but you noticed it and you felt it. So you continue driving, but now your mind is kind of off because you're wondering what exactly just happened to me. So you get home and Liz, women's intuition. Women's intuition that's another one I can't figure out. I don't think we ever can or ever will. So you walk in the door of your house and you're scratching your head. And she say, "What's wrong, hubby?" And she's like, "Oh, nothing. I mean, I just had a long day. Tell me a little bit about your sleep. Do you sleep? Do you stay up late? Do you go to bed pretty early when you were working? What was your sleep schedule?"
It depended. One job I had when I was
The normal one.
when I was a bus driver, some of my shifts started at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I would go to bed at 8 o'clock at night. But on an average day, I stay up quite late. It's normally 2 o'clock between midnight. Between midnight and 2 o'clock that I go to bed, and I'm normally up anywhere from 7 to 9.
Okay, cool. So that particular day, you were like, you're still trying to figure out what exactly happened to you. Do you guys have a basement or in your house or something?
No, not in our house. No.
No man cave. John, you gotta have a man cave. You don't have a man cave.
This is my man cave.
Okay. Well, hey, we're gonna ride with that. So you go to bed because it's been a long day, and you wake up early the next morning. For some reason, guys, you had to go to the hardware store, not knowing why you had to go to the hardware store. You just had that sense that you just need to go to the hardware store. So you get up, you not sure what Liz is doing. She's probably, cooking breakfast or whatever. And you tell her, "Hey, I got to run to the hardware store." So you go to the hardware store, you start grabbing things you normally don't grab. And you're looking at this, it's like, why am I grabbing this when I don't need it? But something in your mind is telling you that to buy this. So here you go grab a light fixture with, the light that goes off and on. You went and bought some other stuff and you drive back home. By then, it's like maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock a.m. And you take all this stuff and you take it into your man cave and lock the door behind you for some reason. And you start working on something. Hours pass by. You don't come out of that room. You just clank, clank, clink, clink, clank, 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 just going at it. Liz comes, knock on the door, and like, "Hey, John, what are you doing?" So you open up the door, and she's like, "Oh, I'll be done here in a minute." And she's like, "Well, the spaghetti, do you want it in the oven or do you want it cooked on top?" So she's like, but John was like, "Well, hey, why not put it in the oven?" So we put it in the oven. Liz comes back down and say, "Hey, dinner's ready." By then, the device that you created is finished. Liz comes into the room, is like, "Hey, what did you build?" He's like, But all that ball of light that hit you was knowledge to build this device. So Liz was like, well, does it cut on? And yeah, I don't know, because you built it, but you ain't actually looked into it to see what it actually does yet.
Yeah.
And Liz said, well, okay, there's a switch here. Let's go ahead and cut this thing on and see what you built. So Liz cut that thing on, and it shot a beam, boom, right to the wall. It didn't go through the wall, but it made like a hologram. And Liz looks at you, and you look at her. It's like, what the hell did you build? So you looked, but you know what, guys? You saw people. You saw people just going about their everyday life. Man, you saw Starbucks, you saw convenience stores, you saw banks, and you just saw people just living, just going about their everyday life. And Liz was like, man, is that a TV? Because it was so real.
Yeah.
And she was like, and John was like, no, that's not a TV. It's too small to be a TV. It was no bigger than this mouse right here, but it shot the hole. It shot that beam through it, and it expanded once it hit. Oh, hold on for a minute. Oh, you guys still there?
Yeah, we could still hear you.
Still hear you.
Okay, so
It's coming back slowly.
I don't know what this is. Hold on for a minute, guys.
Freezing, isn't it?
Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. But
okay.
It shot this beam through the wall, and it expanded. And like I said, you can see like what you guys see every time you go downtown to go shopping. Life. So you look at John, and John looks at you because you thought it was a TV. You're like, oh, no, it's not a TV. But one person caught your eye, John, and she waved. She's like, waved at you. Not knowing who it is, but you're curious. And this person's like, give me 5 minutes. I'm going to come to you. And you didn't know what to say because you really don't know what the hell you invented. So she comes in. She jumps in through the portal. She comes up to Liz and like, hello, granddaughter. How you doing? Gives you a big fat kiss, Liz, on the cheek. And you're like, who in the hell is this woman in my house? And John don't recognize her because this is his ancestor, man, 4 generations back. So you never got to know who this person was. But she's also said, hey, I am your grandmother. And John looks at you, and you look at her, and she's like, oh, boy, stop. We got so much to talk about. So, Liz, you go back out of the room to check on the spaghetti because it's in the oven. And John and his grandmother sits down and just start having the greatest conversation. And your grandmother was like, oh, John, we're so proud of you. You know, don't waste your time trying to get here so soon. We will be here when you get here. Man, your family loves you, you know, and blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Y'all just had like an hour conversation. But she looks at her clock and she said, oh, man, I got to get these groceries home to Grandpa. I got to cook him dinner. And you say, ain't that ironic? Liz is upstairs cooking me dinner. And so she looks up. She's like, grandson, keep doing what you're doing. And I love you. Everybody loves you. So she gives you a big fat kiss on the cheek, goes back through the portal, waves her hand and says, I will see you soon, and walks off. By then, Liz comes back in and say, "Hey, what happened to Grandma?" She's like, "Oh, she had to go." So Liz reaches over there and shuts off the device. And you're like, man, this is incredible. Now, the knowledge and the technology, the knowledge that you had to build this device is no longer there. It seemed like somebody sent it to you to build that device so you can communicate.
Yeah.
And you pick it up and you're like, man, the world will be, man, I don't know how the world will react to something like this. Would they accept it? Would they take it and dissect it? Or should I put it on the shelf for my grandkids to come visit me when it's my time? And so you're like, so you ask Liz, like, Liz, what should I do? You know, and you're like, and she walks out because she burnt the spaghetti. And so you put the thing on the shelf, but something like that is going to be on your mind. You're going to like, man, should I share this technology with the world or should I keep it to myself? But mind you guys, there are always rules and regulations when you have a device such as that. Always.
Yeah.
The first rule is it's only for you, John. It can't be shared with the world. Only you can cut it on. And anybody that has your DNA can cut it on. So if there's somebody outside the family, it's not going to work because it's only meant for the family, your family. So the biggest question I have for you, John, is what are you going to do with it?
I wouldn't tell her. I wouldn't. I would just keep it for me. If that was the rules, I would just keep it for me. Even if there weren't a rule, the problem, I watch too much TV. Way too much TV. Play too many computer games. I mean, when you were talking about that, the first thing that came into my mind, have you seen a series years ago called Fringe?
Mm-hmm.
So they had the screen where Walter used to look into the other dimension.
Right.
You know? So that's what were in my head when you were going with that. But also I play a game and on computer, on this game, this technology that's been created from alien technology actually destroyed the Earth. So with that technology, I wouldn't know what the effects could be on
the ripple effect
on a molecular level to the Earth or to the to dimensions to whatever. So I'd be too worried that even if I could reproduce this and sell it to everybody, it could have a catastrophic effect on something.
So let's switch it up a little bit. Let's say that the powers that be allowed you to share this tech with the world, and certain governments was to get a hold of it. Can you imagine the religious applications that device would have on the world? Can you imagine? Every government would want it. Religions will fall. And the world that we know today would not exist. All because of
one thing.
One little device.
Yep.
So basically you're saying that you would keep it.
I'd smash it.
Put it on the shelf. Visit grandma as much as you can.
Yeah.
Because she's the key to the future. Yeah. The more you know about the past, it's great. It prepares you for the future. So whatever things that went wrong back then, make sure it doesn't happen in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So hey, I'm glad that you decide that you want to keep it. Would you share it with your kids? Would you tell your kids about it?
No.
So you wouldn't give them the opportunity to visit their grandmother to come
Oh,
visit?
After you've passed, though.
Yeah,
they
after
wouldn't
I'd
know.
passed, yeah. As long as they didn't visit me, I've had to put up with them for a lifetime, so they can leave me in peace until they join me at a lot later date.
I understand.
But no, I won't let them know there and then.
No, it would be left.
Okay. Liz, let's just say you was in John's shoes. What would you do with it?
Do you know? I think if government were going to get their hands on it, I'd smash it to pieces. Even if there were just one of it, I'd smash it to pieces so nobody could ever get hold of it again.
So you would give it all up?
Yeah.
Grandma and everything?
Everything.
Wow.
Everything.
You're the first one that ever said that they would destroy it.
I'd destroy it. If it meant that government were going to get their hands on it, I'd destroy it straight away. Even if it meant me forfeiting pressing that button to have a visit with my nan, my dad, my long lost uncle, whatever, I'd forfeit that just so they won't get their hands on it. No, I'd smash it, burn it, do whatever.
Okay, cool. Great, guys. Great. All right, one more question.
What I would do is I'd be up front with Terry. I've got this bit of kit.
You got me on that one. Okay, one more question, guys, and this is a doozy. I want you guys to really think about this one now. Where would you guys like to go on your paranormal bucket list? Anywhere in the world. Where would you guys like to go?
America.
It would be America.
Would be.
Again, I have my memory is shocking. There's probably about 5 or 6 places I'd like to in America. There's the one, and I can't remember what it's called. It's the old tuberculosis hospital where they used to put all the patients outside. Let me see if I can find the name of it.
For me, I think it'd have to be America because their history to the lands, for me, for America. Wouldn't necessarily have to be a building for me. It could be in middle of anywhere. I'm not necessarily drawn to any particular building or anything.
Okay.
And I know there's other countries out there that have got a lot. I know Tokyo. I know that's got a lot of history. So Tokyo probably be my second on my bucket list to go out because I've seen Irene on their podcast that they do and their paranormal stuff. So it's very interesting. So for me, be them too. I
would like Waverly Hills is the one I was thinking.
Waverly. And guys, I'm not big fans of locations where there's been millions and millions and millions of boots on the ground.
Yep.
That's like
because the spirits are, I just think that they are overrun.
Yeah.
Do you know that's same as us over here?
We've got one over here. You may have heard of it. You may not. East Drive, 30 East Drive.
Have you ever heard of that one in UK, Terry?
Mm-mm.
No.
There were a film about it. Again, I don't know.
When the lights go out.
When the lights go out.
Oh no, I don't think I'm gonna have to check into that.
But yeah, that's been so overdone.
The house. It's actually owned now by a film director.
The guy that made the film, When the Lights Go Out, he actually owns the house now.
That amazing. One is.
Can you imagine me as a spirit, and I'm for some odd reason, I just don't want to go into the light. I just want to keep hanging out in my cell. No matter if it's a prison, no matter if it's Waverly Hills.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just want to hang out. So I'm sitting there. I'm literally sitting there, and I hear the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, hold up, man. The next person that comes into my cell and asks me to touch something, I swear, I am going to throw that device 500 yards.
Yeah.
The other place I'd like to go would be to Chernobyl.
Oh yeah.
In Ukraine,
Yeah.
you know, the nuclear disaster. I'd love to visit that town.
But I heard there's a lot of weird things going on over there.
Yeah.
A lot of mutations and things
Yeah.
that were weird. But yeah, over locations that's been overran with paranormal investigators, I'm not a big fan of.
No. Terry, what do you think? You know, you said something then. You know, you said if you chose not to go into the light, so you chose to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that when you go through the light, you've got a choice to come back and forward as you want to?
That's another one.
But the biggest question is, what is so fascinating? I mean, what is more? Well, I'm trying to figure out what's the word I'm looking for. What is more than coming back? If you come back, it seems like it's more to offer once you go into the light than coming back and raising hell with everybody. Because
so what happens if we ain't got? Maybe we have to come back to learn something, even though we've passed over, even though we've crossed.
But
So
here's okay. I see your point, but here's one for you that can counter that. Spirits are energy, right? And what is the one thing, and what is the key to the universe?
light.
No.
Energy.
Oh, energy.
So you have access to so much and see so much.
You wouldn't need to.
I wouldn't need to.
Yeah. You'd see it anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's going to happen anyway. You know,
Yeah.
one more question, guys, and I'm going to get it out of here. And another doozy.
I love these doozies.
Yeah, do you guys think there's politics in heaven?
I think there's got to be.
I think there's politics in heaven, or not really politics, but there's guidelines.
Yeah.
There's things that you can do, things that you can't do, things you can say, things you can't say, questions you can answer, and questions you can't answer. Because I've been in some of the most haunted locations in Texas, and I've never got the questions that I've asked.
Now, we can go to a location and we can ask questions and we'll get answers through different mediums, whatever, about that person's life or something to do with the history of the location. Soon as we start asking about what happens after we pass,
only one time.
They don't answer.
One time we asked.
Yeah, we asked once.
We asked once, and it was through the I forgot what we were using, whether it were portal, whatever we were using, and there were me, you, and Claire, and we were in the archway in cemetery.
Okay, we'll
I
just
think.
what it says.
Oh, and I think me and Claire asked a question, and it was to do with heaven, and we actually got direct responses saying there was a heaven, and then we asked something else, and it said too much already. It said too much.
Yeah, I think there's rules and regulations in heaven. Yeah. I think there's laws, and I think there's bylaws. A lot of people disagree with me on that.
No, I mean, I think as well once you cross over, you've got there's different planes that you go on, because I think if you've committed crimes, when you cross over, you've got, even though everybody will talk about forgiveness, it's done. Once you cross, I think you have to learn to forgive yourself for doing what you've done. Do you know? So I think they have to go to certain places where others don't, to look back at what damage they've caused and deal with that emotion before they can move on to somewhere else, vice versa, like that. And I think that's where the politics for me, that's my belief, that's where the politics side would come in for me, not in that fashion.
Okay, guys, it has been a pleasure and an honor.
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed it.
Really enjoyed
to meet you.
Yes. Is there any closing statement that you guys would like to have? Here is your opportunity.
No, just thank you so much for having us on, Terry. It's been absolutely amazing. I'd love to stay in touch. Yes, love to stay in touch. And just if anybody does want to follow us, we are exploring the afterlife, Lindsay and John. And what you see is what you get.
There you go. I totally agree with you on that.
That's it.
Just be nice to each other. Just be nice.
Be nice.
That's the only message I have. Just be nice to each other.
Yes. Irene says she loves you guys.
Love you too, Irene. Love you all. Mwah.
But with that being said, guys, please let's keep in touch. Even if it's a simple text, say hello. Now, you guys, sometimes when I text, it might be late at night.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay. I'm normally awake.
Is it raining outside?
What are you looking at?
I'm looking outside thinking it's raining. No, you just said it's raining. I've just looked outside window to see if we've got rain. I'm like, what? It's raining.
All right. Well, hey, you know what, guys? I appreciate it.
Thank you so
much. Love for you guys over there.
Thank you.
And I'm hoping to have you guys as the head spring for my tour that's coming available in November.
Oh, bless. Thank you.
So I would love to have you guys on the show back then.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
Yes, for you guys to kick that off for me. Now, I think you guys would be a perfect fit for that.
Thank you so much.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, with that being said, guys, please enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
And for all the comments in the chat, hey, thank you. We really appreciate it. And all you guys, man, thanks for the love for both organizations. And I hope to hear from you guys soon. Oh, and Potter Paranormal, you better get ready because I'm coming.
You're going to have to think some different questions, though, to throw in.
Oh, trust me. Yeah, he kind of has an idea on what he think I'm going to talk about. But I might go into the first 5 minutes, but after that, it's about to get serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, I'll see you guys, Potter's Paranormal, Sunday evenings. He's going to be in the Lion's Den Sunday afternoon, 7 p.m. Central. And I'm looking forward to speaking with this gentleman or lady. It should be a multitude of them on the show, but it's going to be fun, and I hope to see everybody then. But
we'll be watching.
In the meantime, this is Terry with NSPS TV, and I will be talking to you guys soon. Peace. Bye, guys.
Bye.